Today, frequently asked questions by my referrals. Hello, Teacher Megan here with VIPKid. I have a lot of people who are contacting me because they're interested in what I'm doing at VIPKid, and they all kind of have the same questions. So here are the most frequently asked questions of new referrals. First off is, what is VIPKid? I've made a whole separate video about what VIPKid is. So if you haven't watched that video yet, click over there and watch that video. I will link it in the comments below. The second question I always get is, what will I need to buy for this job? They do require you have some basic things. Most of you already have these basic things. Number one is you have to have a laptop or an iPad, something that you can access the VIPKid app and actually teach. That is your teacher portal. Another thing that you will need is good lighting. As you can see, my classroom, it's night right now. It's 10:30 at night. And as you can see, my classroom is brightly lit. I use an O-ring social light and it works great. So it could be 4 in the morning, pitch black outside, and it looks like a summertime party in here. You'll also need headphones. I have a video on what headphones I use and if I like them or not. Go click on that video as well if you need ideas for headphones. The fourth thing that you will need, good Wi-Fi. And this is important because sometimes the Wi-Fi in China is sketchy, sometimes the app is a little sketchy, and you do not want to be your fault that the Wi-Fi isn't working. So a lot of teachers use an Ethernet cable and plug directly into their Wi-Fi. We just upgraded the Wi-Fi in our house. My Wi-Fi works really, really well without the Ethernet. If my Wi-Fi were to ever go out, I do have unlimited hotspot on my phone. I would switch over to my phone and use a hotspot at that point. So that's all that you really have to have or that's required for this job. Most people already have those things. The next question I get is scheduling and hours. Most people don't realize that you have 100% control over your schedule. You can open as many or as few classes as you wish. There is no minimum and there is no maximum. So some people only work part-time. That means, 5 to 20 hours a week, which is 20 to 40 classes. That's actually quite a lot. I usually hit around 35 to 45 classes a week because I have other jobs and I homeschool my 4 kids as well. And other teachers do all-nighters where they're up for 12 hours working third shift and they pull, 80 to 100 classes a week. It's crazy. But the thing is that it doesn't matter. You have full control over your schedule. If you want to open up 3 slots a week, you can. If you want to open up all your slots, you can do that as well. So I love that they don't dictate that you have to have a minimum of 10 classes a week or something like that. It's really great. All the classes are on Beijing time. That means that we work early in the morning or we work in the evenings on Fridays and Saturdays. Now these can kind of change depending on what levels you teach, which means are you teaching 4-year-olds or are you teaching 14-year-olds? I teach upper levels, which tend to be between the ages of 8 to 13 and 14. And so my kids are in school during the day. My classes are mostly in the mornings. I'm Central Time. I teach from 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. I could open up earlier slots, but they probably wouldn't book because, again, that's just too early for them to get out of school, do their activities and tutoring. Most of my kids take late at night in Beijing time. I also open up evening slots Friday and Saturday. So our Friday night is Beijing's Saturday morning, and our Saturday night is Beijing's Sunday morning. So I do get a lot of classes booked on those 2 nights as well. Another thing I love about VIPKid scheduling is that you don't have to ask anybody permission to take time off. You literally just don't open those classes. So yeah, it's really great to kind of be your own boss. Since we are contracted with VIPKid, there's no stipulation of when we have to work and when we don't work. It's really just that easy. I love the scheduling because it's so flexible, and as a mom and business owner, flexibility is key. So the application process, there are 4 different things that you have to do to get hired. First thing you have is the online application. You then have your interview and demo, then your certification where you can certify for a level. The next thing that you do is your background check and sign your contract. Then you're a teacher. This whole thing can take about a week, sometimes 2, depending on how far out you schedule your interviews. All of your demo classes and interviews and stuff are scheduled. So some people schedule it the same day, other people schedule it several days out. I think my whole hiring process took less than 2 weeks. VIPKid kind of changes up how they do it every now and then, so it could change from the time that I record this video. But there's an interview, and then you do kind of like a demo class, which they'll give you the materials beforehand. They want to see you use TPR. They want to see that you're enthusiastic. They want to see that you have personality and that you are committed to actually teaching and that, you can teach. The hiring process with VIPKid, it can seem a bit daunting and tedious, but it is okay. The reason why they make it this way is they really want to know that you want this job. They'll give you several chances to pass your interview, to pass your mock class demos and certifications. So have no fear if you fail the first time. That's pretty normal to fail the first time because you don't know what you're doing unless you're watching these videos, and then you do. Yay. I get this a lot. I tell people, I teach English to Chinese kids in China. I didn't know you speak Mandarin. I don't. No, you don't need to know Chinese in order to teach English. All of the classes are immersive English. So the children never speak Chinese to us. They only speak English. This is where TPR, total physical response, comes into play. When you want someone to listen, this is what I'm saying. And then they repeat it back, okay? I don't know Mandarin, and the lesson plans are already done for us. Everything is already done by the curriculum department, so there's literally no thought involved. I see who my student is, I see what class they're doing, I show up in the classroom, and I listen to them. If they do something wrong, let's listen again, and I correct it. I correct pronunciation. It's not jumped. 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 Yes, great job. So we're correcting all the time. We don't have to know their language in order for us to teach ours. The next thing is the pay, and this can get kind of confusing. VIPKid pays you per class. Now, every class is 25 minutes with 5 minutes for feedback. So basically, every 30 minutes equals a class. My handwriting is excellent. For every class, you get a base pay. This base pay, it is between $7 and $9 per class. So for our example, we're going to say that you just got hired and you make $8 a class. $8 per class. Okay, VIPKid gives you a dollar incentive for every class that you show up to on time. Yay, you showed up. You get $1. You also get an extra $1 if you teach over 45 classes a month. Now, when I first started out, my very first month, I did not hit that incentive. But every month since then, I have made that incentive. And now, last month and this month, I've been teaching about 40 to 45 classes a week. So totally doable. That puts my actual pay at $10 per class. So with this equation, since a class is 30 minutes, you see my O-ring light? Since a class is 30 minutes, that means I make $20 an hour if my base pay is $8 a class. It's a lot of money. The great thing about VIPKid is that they also give separate incentives. So for example, if you don't have your trial certification yet, and you're like, trial certification, what's that? You'll find out. If they want more teachers teaching a certain level or teaching a certain certification, then they'll do an incentive for a month and say, we'll give you $50 if you do this certification. And teachers go and do that certification and earn $50. Just like that. We also get incentives for referrals. So the referral program is off the hook. So many bonuses and incentives, and I don't have time to get into it on this video. Another video. Next video. Okay, but basically VIPKid just likes to throw money at us teachers, which I will happily accept. Another question that is really popular with most of my mommy friends is, I have really small children at home. How do I teach if I'm the only one home? Let me just say that I have 4 children. When I started with VIP, my youngest was 2 years old and he still slept in bed with me. So me getting up and teaching at 4 o'clock in the morning was really hard on our relationship. But he got used to it and he understands that mommy has to teach classes now. So there was a time where it was kind of difficult for us just because he was used to sleeping with mommy and sleeping in, and now mommy's getting up and doing this class thing. But it was not a big deal. If there was times where he woke up and he was crying, he would come into my classroom, sit on my lap, and I would continue to teach. I would always write in my parent feedback like, my son joined our class today. He was excited to see the student, and I've never had a bad feedback or a bad remark from a parent before. Obviously not ideal, but it happens. They understand that we're parents, most of us, and teaching from home and teaching at weird and odd hours, and sometimes our kids need us. So, having said all of that, my husband gets up and works even earlier than I do. So I am always at home alone with the kids whenever I'm teaching. He's never here whenever I teach. Some things to think about. If you have a newborn, make sure you have a bottle nearby, or make sure you have toys nearby, or make sure that it's not during feeding time, or definitely establish a schedule first before you come back to VIPKid. One thing I do recommend is watching Nancy Taylor. She has done VIP classes through a pregnancy and through bringing up a newborn, and I highly recommend checking out her channel and seeing how she did it as well. Something that really turned me off of VIPKid at first, this is a confession, I'm sorry y'all, I actually filled out the online application, passed, and then didn't interview for 2 months. And the reason why is I started watching YouTube and I was like, can't do it. That's not me. I can't, hey, dino's on my head. That's not me. I can't. I have small children. I do it at home all day long and I can't do it. It really turned me off because I love teaching and I love teaching English, but I didn't want to be the clown for several hours every morning at 4 in the morning. It sounds horrible. And I'm not a morning person anyway, and I don't drink coffee. I drink water. That's all. I don't drink coffee. So yeah, that was a problem for me. And it wasn't until I talked to another VIP teacher and she said that, listen, you don't have to teach the 4 and 5-year-olds. The interviews, the mock classes, those are all geared. You want to pretend like you're teaching a 5-year-old. They want to see how enthusiastic and how much personality you can have. But if you're teaching other levels, I'm not going to use that same thing with my 13 and 14-year-olds that I'm teaching. Whenever I became a VIPKid teacher, I chose not to certify for pre-VIP, level 1, level 2, none of that. I am level 3, 4, and 5, and hopefully will be 6 here in a little bit. But that's it. I didn't want to certify for the younger ages, and that's okay. I've had some students that really love laughing and goofing around in class, and I have other students that are super serious, and they want a more serious teacher, and I am more than happy to deliver them a very serious yet smiling teacher. So don't feel that all the peppiness that you see on all the YouTube videos, if that's not you, that's okay. I bet you're a great teacher anyway. Another great question that I get from some of my newbie referrals is, I've heard that VIPKid already has a ton of teachers. Why are they hiring more? And that's a great question. So currently, as of right now, the current statistic is that VIPKid has over 70,000 teachers. That seems like a lot of teachers, but let's put that into context. Right now, VIPKid also has about 500,000 students. Not only do they have a ton of students, but these students take multiple classes a week. Some of my regulars take 2 or 3 classes a week easily. So we're talking with all of our teachers and with all of our students, it is around 180,000 classes per day. That is why they need more teachers. Also, out of that 70,000, not all teachers are teaching all the time. Some are on vacation, some are on maternity leave, some are sick and are taking time off, some are traveling and taking time off. So out of that number, not all of us are working all the time. Also, most of us still have other jobs, so we only work part-time or less than part-time. I would say less than half actually work full-time with VIPKid. Now, they do it. There's teachers who literally pull all-nighters and will work 12 hours a day for 5 days a week. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So they are out there. I'm not saying they don't exist. They exist. They're out there. But I would say the majority of us VIP teachers are usually around part-time because we still have jobs during the day as well. Another reason why they need more teachers is VIPKid is trying to expand to other countries, but as they're taking their product to other countries, they have to have the teacher workforce behind it. Say they sign on a new country like South Korea, and all of a sudden South Korean students start flooding in the market, and we don't have enough teachers to take care of them. That's why they need more and more teachers. The reason why we have referrals is to save money on advertising. They'd rather pay us teachers to spread the good word about VIPKid and our experiences than to pay some advertising company or firm much more money and do half as good a job as what we do. Another question that I get is, can I have more than one job when I work VIPKid? And the answer is absolutely. I work several jobs and work VIPKid. A lot of teachers are also brick and mortar teachers and work VIPKid. We have a lot of homeschooling moms that work VIPKid. It's literally endless. Because it's a freelance contract job, you can do anything else that you want on top of VIPKid. There's actually many teachers who teach other online programs for ESL. So they work VIPKid and then they have a different company that they teach for online as well. And they work both of them. Being a contractor, you can do that. The last question is one that I get most often, and it is, do I really need that many props? Yes and no. It depends on your teaching style. I have seen teachers with hundreds and hundreds of props, and I'm not that teacher. I do not like props. So I do have my dyno, and I do have basically this box of like some shapes and a fish and one finger puppet, and I have my whiteboard. That's pretty much it. Because I teach the older level, I don't have to have all kinds of crazy things. And I honestly use Google Slides for my props and rewards most of the time. So if you're interested in Google Slides, leave a comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But the short answer is no, you don't have to spend a lot of money and buy a whole ton of props. They want your lessons to be engaging, and you can do that in several different ways without using a butt ton of props. There are some teachers that love their props though, and that is completely okay too. It's just not for me. So if you have children, you more than likely have 98% of the props that you would use in the lessons anyway. Don't go out and spend a lot of money and start buying a lot of stuff for your classroom. I hope this was helpful. I have so many people contacting me about wanting to be a new teacher, and these are the questions that I get on a daily basis. Hopefully this video is enlightening and answers most of your questions. If you still have questions, by all means, hit the referral link below, turn in your online application, and I will be in contact with you shortly. Thanks for watching. Come on.